everybody, and welcome back to Slide Bites. So, not really a review or anything today, just a kind of an update on a project I've been working on. This is the Raven RG60 amplifier. I got this, probably 12 years ago, something like that. Yeah, it's probably around 17, 18. This was actually, Raven amplification did not go over well. It was a Guitar Center brand that died. It is no longer a thing, and these amps are not exactly expensive on the used market. This was $299 when I got it. I think they're going around 150, 180, something like that now. And I got it used, so I actually probably overpaid back in the day. But this is one of those things. I didn't have a lot of cash when I was younger. I usually worked with family members and friends and made deals with people to work for them to make money and things like that. I was a high school student and not a great one either. But it was just one of those things. When you're young, you do what you try to find summer jobs and things like that to earn money for amps, and that's really what caused me to start falling in love with budget gear, is because that's what I could afford, and I had to work to make things sound good, and some of it just naturally did. Some of it I really took effort. This is one of those that distortion channel I do not like. Actually, if I turn on the distortion channel, and I will real quick, we'll go back to that, and I leave that reverb on, it has a horrible sound to it. You can hear a hiss in it. There's a hiss in there that bothers the absolute crap out of me, and I never have understood it. It's something that only comes on if you have the reverb turned up on the distortion channel. So yeah, Raven RG60. Now, if you know much about Guitar Center, you know that they right now are using acoustic as their seems to be their primary amplification brand. I think it's Acoustic Control Corporation. I'm pretty sure Guitar Center is. I know all the acoustic lead series amps are produced or at least all the acoustic lead series are basically Guitar Center amplifiers. It's their brand they've purchased and are using to make a house brand of amp. So Raven just did not seem to get good reviews. I've seen a lot of people absolutely hating on them on YouTube and everything. And that distortion channel I do not think is great. But this amp meant something to me. My dad carried it through the Guitar Center local to us, and all the way to the register. He was so happy that I found something that was big enough and loud enough to gig with, and he just wanted me to get it. And for me, it was all about that clean channel, and that's what I really focused on with this thing. I think the clean channel does sound good. I think the distortion channel is kind of crap, but the clean channel is really where especially on budget combo amps, solid state amps, your clean channel is important, because I'm a big pedal player. I use a lot of guitar pedals, and I use like the tube overdrive to give a simulated, it's a Digitech Bad Monkey, but I've found that I can use that to give simulated in-amp breakup that you can get from a tube amp, and I use just a little bit of the available gain in that to simulate that, and then I run the Ultra Metal pedal, or a Boss DS1 after that, to give more of a full tone that sounds very, in my opinion, tube-like. Not quite there, but good. And tube amps are awesome, and they do sound better than solid state in most things. But I mean, you look at what most bands, or at least a lot of the bands, are doing these days. Everyone's going to Kempers or digital, whatever, and not even bringing real amps to concerts. And that kind of breaks my heart in a way, but it is what it is. But how important is that? Leave that up to other people smarter than me to debate, but it is what it is. For me, this was all about that clean channel, all about how it responded to pedals, and it always did great. This thing has a line out. It can power external speaker. I don't remember what the ohm rating was. It's 8 ohms. So I read this running to a Crate 4x12. And it actually sounded darn good. And I could take just this. I used that as an amp head to do that. And I could take this to practice gigs with a little band I was in for just a little bit. We never did anything. Never got anywhere. But never even got to play a show together because none of us could get along on it. But I would take this to some practice sessions with that. My only bigger amp at the time, other than this, was the Crate FlexWave XT30 RC, which I will show on here eventually. But this thing got left in storage. We ended up living in a little apartment, didn't have room for it, and some stuff happened, and this thing got exposed to a lot of moisture and cats. And I've done a lot of cleaning on this thing. The screw heads are still pretty rusty, but it's all a lot better. The inputs are rusted out. The volume knob was not functional on the clean channel. No matter what I did, it was always one volume. It was always just stupid loud, and I actually had to turn that volume knob for a while until it broke whatever was gritting up in there. And actually now everything's fully functional. Even the little tuner on here, and it'll flash for a second, you'll see it. It does still work. I just used it a little bit ago to tune up this Squire Fendi Telly. And the fact that she survived what it was put through in storage was awesome, and the fact that it's working again is awesome. And I know a lot of people would be like, well, you moved on, why do you even care? Because the acoustic lead series, the 2x12, I don't even need the half stack cab or anything like I used to have, because really 2x12 gets you really far. You move a lot of air with one of those. But this is a 12-inch speaker too, and for what it was at the time, it was big, it was powerful, it was loud, and my pedals sounded great through it. And that's all that mattered to me at the time. So for me, 17, 18-year-old, it just was what it was. It was my gateway into something more than my little 30-watt amplifier. And before that, all I had was the Frontman 10-watt. So we're talking going up in intervals and wattage here, and consistently getting more and more powerful amplifiers. And that mattered to me. And so this is a good memory for me. And it was good for me to, break out all the equipment that I had. I bleached this thing, Clorox this thing, WD-40'd it. I'm gonna put some black nail polish over all the screw heads and try to stop and at least cover the rust and hopefully stop it. And definitely, I did have to scrub out the inputs, like I said, break the volume control free. There is one small hole in the speaker. Eventually I may change that, may not. When I was growing up, my buddy who taught me to play guitar and bass, he had a Laney 50-watt that we'd run a Digitech grunge pedal through the front of in his shed, and we'd throw in my guitar pick. And we would go over there and we would just jam out in his garage in his shed. And the neighbors would come over, and you think they're going to be mad. And they're like, turn it up, that sounds great. That brings back good memories. So I'm probably going to just put this in my garage. I have an insulated garage. We don't get moisture or anything in there. It stays a good constant temperature through the year. And nothing really rusts in there. And I don't have too much moisture issues to worry about. And it's not like this thing is in amazing condition anyway. So this will probably be a garage amp. So I just went and tinker around out there. I will just take it out there, or take a guitar out there and sit down in the garage for a little bit and play, get out of everyone's hair for a little while, so I don't drive my wife crazy with all my jamming. She's amazing, by the way. She puts up with me. And that's saying something. But yeah, and this is something with me. You'll find, I do have a bit of restoration training on different materials, and it's one of those things that if I can fix something, I will. Whether it's a guitar or an amp or other things, I like to try to repair things. It is a emotionally pleasing thing, and it also just brings back a lot of memories of that. You remember how important that object was to you, especially, like I said, as a broke kid, didn't have a lot of options and gear, and this meant something to me. It gave me a pathway through, and I could cut through a mix and finally be heard and stand out. And for what it was, a good pedal platform with a good clean channel was all that I needed. I didn't even need to use that reverb. I had a digital reverb Behringer pedal that was great. I've had that for well over a decade, and it is a great pedal. And this thing handled everything. There was really just nothing that this amp on the clean channel with some good pedals couldn't do. I did every genre of music clean, and all the distorted stuff, just everything. I played everything on this, and I'm just glad to have it back. And it is a lot of work to restore things like this, but as you can see, she looks really good, and I'm really happy with the way it's turning out. There's still some more stuff I'm going to be doing to it and cleaning her up a little more over time, but at this point, it's fully functional again. I can go out there and play anytime I want, and it just means a lot to have it back. So, yeah, I guess the point of this video is not so much a review. The amp, I mean, it is what it is. It's a very cheap house branded amplifier, basically, but it did what it was supposed to do, and that's something that's important. And amps these days, budget amps, have gotten way better than even what this was. But for the time, yeah, it's what I had, and it worked. So I think the point of this video is not really so much a review, but a reminder. You know, if things happen beyond your control, and you can fix something and bring it back, it is a satisfying thing. And gear means so much to a guitarist. You know, we all trade and move stuff around. I know that. I'm different in that. I don't trade or replace things. The only things I've gotten rid of are the things that were out of my control and that were basically kind of damaged and destroyed in storage. And that's what I'm trying to rebuild and fix up now, so I'm not giving away anything. That's why I have so many guitars, and I'm just dropping that pig over. That's why I have so many guitars and so much amplifiers and pedals, is because I don't get rid of this stuff, because I'm very appreciative and very thankful for what I have. And I've always had this gut feeling I would just pull it back and use it again in something else later, or have it for another need to fill later on. And so far, everything has pretty much done that. I use just about every bit of the gear at some point. So yeah, that's really all this video is, guys. Just you know, sometimes you don't have to replace your things if you can fix it, and if you do have to replace it, you have to replace it. It is what it is. But there is a good feeling about restoring something and bringing back a piece of your childhood memories and having that there. So just wanted to share that with you guys. I'll have other stuff coming up soon. Probably I'm going to do some. I have a lot of pedals and I have a lot of other amps and things like that. So we'll talk about more guitars for sure. And more, like I said, in my other video, I have stuff on order. So more content will be coming soon. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. And you know, stay shredding, partners. I hope you guys stay safe. Have a great weekend. And thank you again for watching Slide Bites. Talk to you later. Bye.